Okay, folks, what's up? Today is Tuesday, October 25th, 2016. Of course, we launched the NBA season tonight. Got to give you the playoff predictions and, of course, the postseason awards. We'll do two separate videos. Right now, we will start with my postseason award prediction, starting, of course, with the MVP. And I'm going with Damian Lillard of the Portland Trailblazers for this one. Of course, you have Steph Curry, the defending two-time MVP champion. A lot's going to be lost with Steph Curry now that you bring in Kevin Durant. And even with Kevin Durant, it's just a no-win situation for those guys as far as either one of them being the potential MVP this year. The team won 73 games last year. It'd be almost impossible for them to get there or eclipse that mark again this season. And I'd be shocked if they get to 70 wins. I know they've won 67, then 73. I have them right around 65 to 67. It's just hard to do. Even though the Western Conference is a little weaker, I just see that team not being able to continue that pace going forward this season. So either way, even if they get above that win mark, then maybe you could look at Kevin Durant. But Steph Curry, his numbers are going to be hurt by having Kevin Durant there. So that's why I like Damian Lillard. I like this Portland team a lot. I think they're going to make noise in the Western Conference. We'll get into that later. But you look at a guy who doesn't have much help. I mean, they do have C.J. McCollum. He did play well last year, most improved player. They did bring in Evan Turner. Evan Turner we will get into later on, of course, when we do the more of the awards. But I think with those additions, the team will be improved. But it's really going to be all on Damian Lillard, and I think he's ready with the weakened Oklahoma City Thunder. Obviously, the San Antonio Spurs will have to see. I'm expecting a lot of that Portland Trailblazers team, and that's why I believe Damian Lillard will win the Most Valuable Player award this year. Defensive Player of the Year, you have a few candidates. Obviously, Kawhi Leonard, Avery Bradley is up there, DeAndre Jordan. If he can get there, you can call me a homer. You can call me what you want. I am taking Avery Bradley for this one, for the Defensive Player of the Year. I believe it's his time. He's been working hard at it. He's made it clear that he wants to be a Defensive Player of the Year. Certainly his health, if we'd assume he's recovered from that hamstring injury suffered in the playoffs. But you look at this guy, he's a shutdown defender on the outside. He's going to have his, dose of guards, of course, throughout this season. Now that you bring in the Derrick Roses, the Brandon Jennings to New York, you, of course, have the Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan up in Toronto, Kyrie Irving in Cleveland. There's a lot of guards where he will be able to showcase himself against John Wall with the Washington Wizards, granted not in his division, but certainly he'll be playing these guys throughout the season. I think he can showcase, and I think the voters may tend to give it to a guy like Avery Bradley this year. So that's why I'm going with Avery Bradley for the Defensive Player of the Year. The Rookie of the Year, pretty easy one for me. I like Chris Dunn of the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think Minnesota's going to have the best season. You look at the Brandon Ingrams, the Ben Simmons, those teams are going to struggle, and I think it's going to be a three-peat for Rookie of the Year with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Of course, you had Andrew Wiggins, then Karl Anthony Towns, and then Chris Dunn this year because I'm expecting that team, the Minnesota Timberwolves, to not just make the playoffs, but be a pretty high seed, considering where they have been when it comes to the playoffs. Will they reach top four? I don't know. I have them right around fifth or sixth. I don't remember exactly where I put them. But this is going to be an improved team, so I like Chris Dunn to be the Rookie of the Year. Coach of the Year. This is a difficult one to choose. Of course, you would look at a guy like a Brad Stevens of the Celtics. I don't think Brad Stevens has a shot to win it anytime soon. I believe he had his best chance, and it has nothing to do with Brad Stevens, as far as him being incapable or anything like that. It's just you look at the Celtics team, they now have some expectations on them. So where they finish, you would look at it and be like, okay, we'd expect that. Brad Stevens certainly had a shot last year, maybe even the year before. As of right now, though, unless this team, somehow really shocks everyone, wins 60 some odd games, I don't see Brad Stevens being able to be the coach of the year this year. This is a tough one to choose. Stan Van Gundy's going to be in conversation. I thought Terry Stotts should have won it last year, and I believe Terry Stotts will win it this year for the Portland Trailblazers because, I thought he should have had it last year for lack of a better reason. And then, of course, the last one, the sixth man of the year, another Portland Trailblazer. I'm going with Evan Turner. I think he's really going to help that team. He's going to be what that team needs. Of course, he finished fifth last year in the sixth man of the year voting. So that's going to be important. There's really a lack of bench play, quality bench play on that Portland Trailblazers team. And like I said, I think that's one of the things they're missing. Excuse me, and I think him contributing to that is going to be what causes the Portland Trailblazers to move up and finish where I expect them this year. Most improved player, it's really hard to get into. You got to see it because a lot of times guys will come out of nowhere. McCollum last year, I don't think many people were expecting that. Jay Crowder did have a good year last year in the improvement. I think people may have saw that. But as far as most improved player, that's something we'll have to get in when the season starts. All right, so just a few minutes, we will give you the postseason predictions, the playoff wise, and we'll move on from there. Thank you all so much. See you in a few minutes.